All right, we welcome you out, ladies and gentlemen, to East Lawrence High School here to talk some baseball with head coach Tyler Green. And we're looking at a week of baseball. You had 3 games this week. You had a couple against Swainsboro. You had one to start out the week with, you don't really want to really say a rival, but a crosstown team with West Lawrence. And Coach Brian Brown brought a formidable opponent in here. And you got to work on some things. You got to play a tough team, of course. Why don't you just replay that one for us with West?
All right, well, with West, didn't go as well. I remember last week I told you how strong our pitching standpoint was.
Yeah.
Well, then we go out against West. I believe we gave up 5 hits, 6 walks, 3 hit batters, made a couple errors in the field. Bunch of stuff that you absolutely cannot do to win ball games at all. But we did this time scratch off a hit. We got had productive or really good at bats. Hit about 6 line drives in the outfield right at somebody. They didn't have to move left or right. The thing about it was it was a wet field that day. Struggling to try to get the game in. So if you make them go left or right in that outfield as wet as it was, then there's a great chance that they're going to screw it up. And we screwed up a couple of times having to go left and right and falling down and out there in that outfield. So we just breaks was not on our side during that game at all. And
well, you know, West Lawrence coming in again. I mean, you talk about a much higher region. You talk about a program that has progressed for years, and everybody knows it's no secret that they turn out good ball players. You know, you're a prime example yourself.
Product of, but before there was some dismal years for West Lawrence, and I know when I first got there, it was not the greatest at all. But Brian Brown has done a good job of getting that program up and running, and really proud for him. I'm a product of him, and I played for him, so I know what he's doing over there.
Well, let's pause on that for a moment, Coach, and let's talk to the fathers and the mothers out there who have young kids coming up. They got them real young now. What's the best opportunity for them to get better, to learn the game of baseball right now?
Really, the thing you need to do is go out and find somewhere to play. It don't matter where. It could be Dublin, Lawrence County Recreation. It could be Dudley Little League. You might want to try to find some kind of travel ball. I know travel ball helps out a lot. I have parents ask me all the time, talking about, well, I think coaches sometimes they're more biased to people who play travel ball. I'm like, not so much. The thing about it is that when you play those travel balls and you play as much, the thing about baseball is it's just repetition. And some of those things you can't get in practice. Just like last night. We had a 1st and 3rd situation. Guy gets picked off at 3rd. Or at 1st. Guy gets picked off 1st. He's in between bases. We went over that at practice last week. And we talked about it probably more in depth than we should have talked about it. We didn't end up executing it. They didn't advance. Most runners, they advance to 2nd and they get home because they freak out. So we did a good thing not freaking out. We just didn't get an out. You know, which we had a guy in between 3rd. He was dead to water, and you tell him, walk the guy back to 1st. Once he makes a decision, you give the ball up. We hesitated, didn't give the ball up in time. But the good thing was that we didn't freak out first off with, so it ended up staying 1st and 3rd, which is, as a coach, you can't get mad at that. But you would really like to get an out, considering there was 2 outs, and that would have ended the inning. They ended up scoring a couple in that inning, so we would have got out of it. None scored. I believe we made an error right after it too. So it's like usually how the ball rolls. You don't execute, then you're a little bummed out on the field, and then you're not thinking about the next pitch, and then the ball's gonna find you. It never fails.
That's right.
But
and then you're looking at that. What you're saying is, through the years of experience, you know what to do.
It's just your repetition, and you see it in game. So most of the time when I learned, we could do it in practice all day, every day. But the only time I learned in my head is when it happened in a game. And you would like for that to happen in a summer ball game where it really don't mean much or whatever until you get to school ball. So when it happens in a school ball game, you're like, man, and it's a lot more devastating. So you can learn from it in another game or a scrimmage. That's why we try to do scrimmages a lot. So you can see that when it doesn't doesn't count, and then your coach can just sit there and go through it with you.
Break it all down again.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with any sports, whatever sports your child's playing. Repetition. It's a response that you got to have. You got to just instinctively know what to do in those situations. So what we're trying to encourage you to is, just like in any successful program that has come along, it's grown from the bottom up. You're nurturing that experience from an early age. So get your young kids involved in rec authority, get them involved with Dudley Little League, get them some help. What other avenues are out there right now? What hidden areas are?
Oh yeah. It is. You got Game On with Brian Millett. I'm a product of that also. I played with Brian from when I was about 9 or 10 all the way up until I was 17. Actually played first year of my college ball. I played with his high school team because I was still 18. So all the way up till I was 18 years old. So I played for him.
Great experience,
for 8 or 9 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Great
talk about breaking it down and developing you.
Yeah, and they can also help you get into college too. He's got a lot of connections with colleges.
Yeah.
So you go out there, you produce. He can help you out in that avenue too, just like we can too.
Right.
We got a lot of connections with different guys in different colleges.
But what you got to do is, in order to grow a program, what we encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, is start at that young age.
Oh yeah.
Start at that young age and get that experience and get out in the yard and play ball with your kids as well, right?
Oh yeah, I can remember those days just sitting there during the summer and throwing a ball up on the roof and going out there and catching it. I try to get as much experience as I absolutely could. Go out there, throw into a net. Some people's just like that. That's what you got to do, and some people's got it. I mean, that's the thing about travel ball is you got to have some type of money to do it. It costs hundreds of dollars. That's why a lot of parents get away from it. So
it's tough to do sometimes.
Yeah, so if you can't, I mean, like a lot of us, if you want to get hooked up with somebody, you can always go to your coaches. I know I've had kids. I've actually had kids from like West Side calling me and saying, "Hey, can you give me lessons and all that?"
Right.
We're always welcome to help out with whatever, because I mean we're all one community.
So as you're coming along, you keep an eye on the middle school as well.
Oh, I do. I absolutely do. But middle school's doing pretty good right now. They actually beat Dodge County last night, so it's pretty pumped to hear that. And we got a bunch of 8th graders coming, and they'll be able to help us out a good bit next year. I would assume.
And you wanted to make sure that as the kids come up out of middle school into high school that they just knew Coach Green, so that's why you.
That's why we hired a Coach Green for the middle school, so they don't even have to learn a new name.
Just keep it the fundamentals.
Oh
right?
yeah.
But you talk about it middle school, and they got a pretty good group of kids.
Oh yeah, they do. They're really disciplined kids. They work really hard. We did conditioning out there in the fall.
Yeah.
And man, they would come out there. And I'm talking about they pushed our high school kids, and you wouldn't never see that. You don't see that in many programs where middle schoolers come out and they're pushing high school kids to try to get to do harder. But it was happening. I'm telling you, that middle school group is a very exciting group to watch.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to get up there because I'm telling you, they'll push some people, and that's what you always need is young guys pushing them. I remember my college coach.
Yeah.
Sitting there, we had 8 freshmen in my class, and then we lost the first 3 series. And he looked us dead in the eyes and said, "Freshman, it's your fault. It's your fault that we're losing." And we're like, "How? We're not even on the field."
Yeah.
He said, "Because you're not pushing those older guys."
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did. Didn't lose a series after that. Ended up, I believe, out of the 8, 5 of us were on the field starting, and it just balls rolling. So after that, I really realized that that's a pretty good philosophy. You got to have some type of competition. Some kind of younger competition trying to push you.
Yeah.
So that's always good. You get those young guys coming into your program, put them into some positions, have some of those older guys sweating down.
Yeah.
Sweating, trying to say,
to take that position.
maybe I should work a little harder. And then it's just, that's how the ball starts rolling. Yeah. So we're really excited about those young guys.
It's a good example, yeah. I know you're on it. We'll move on forward. You had, Swainsboro.
Yep.
Yeah, had a 2-game series with them, right?
Yep, we had a 2-game series with them. We played them at their place on Tuesday. Didn't end up turning out in our favor. I don't want to get into the umpire-ish situation, but it was both coaches could agree it was probably
questionable.
Not great. Yeah, they cost us a couple runs, but you can't never blame them because they have to call for both sides. So,
it's human error.
But, it's human error. But on our side, on what we did, we hit the ball really, really well. Really, really well. Was having really productive at-bats. just some brain farts here and there cost us. Just like running bases or something like that. But it wasn't it was nothing major. It was really, really good to see our kids go out there and fight the way they did against Waynesboro. Fell a little short. We lost by a run, but I was really pleased with the performance because we had, I believe this week we had a guy make his first start, but he had got some playing time. We had another kid last night make his first start in high school, and then we had another kid come off the bench. Something happened with a player, so somebody goes down. You got to have the mentality to get somebody back up. So freshman, somebody goes down. We put him in the game. He's a freshman, and he's on deck. In his first at bat, on deck, he has no time to think about it whatsoever. Leadoff guy gets on. I just say, time, come over. I was like, bunt him over. Just bunt him over. No big deal. No pressure. Just get it down. Have a lot of confidence. Well, he gets up there, slaps, bunts it right through the pitcher and the third baseman for a hit. So, like, it wasn't probably the smartest thing to do in that situation because if it was right at the pitcher or the third baseman, it was a double play.
Yeah.
But got the job done. I mean, you can only ask.
That's right. Hey,
so
things
much.
Went his way.
Yeah, it went his way. So he looked really smart in doing so. It made me look really smart, even though I had nothing to do with that. That was just him just pushing it for a hit. I mean, that's all you can do.
And that mental attitude, just a little bit of accomplishment will do so much for us.
I was really, really, really proud for him. Somebody goes down, freshman, has had zero playing time because we don't have a JV, so he hasn't been getting any experience. He's just been getting practice. So his name was called upon. He just tried not to be nervous, even though I know he was pretty nervous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I definitely know the feeling. I know he's pretty nervous, especially just sitting on the bench saying, I'm not getting in this game. And then name's called upon, and oh crap. Yeah.
So you got a couple of kids hitting the ball fairly well?
Yeah. We've really turned it up hitting. We just come a little shy. Like last night, again, like I was talking about the pitching, it was okay. It was really good, but we just got to be more consistent in throwing it in the zone. Pitch count's getting a little too high, and once they get high, it starts to where you're all over the zone a little bit. But hey, I mean, it was really effective looking. We just keep those pitch counts down, stay down in the zone, throw strikes. We're going to have some successful ball games. We just still got to work on it.
Yeah, and you coming on to we're real close to the region play. That's going to start before long.
Next week, actually.
Yeah,
next week we start region play against Northeast.
Yeah. We want to break all that down, ladies and gentlemen. We'll talk about, I think, Montgomery coming in on Monday. Got them again. We're going to talk about that and brag on these kids a little bit more. Take a short break first, so you stay with us, all right?
To better serve our members, Altamaha EMC has opened a new customer service office in East Dublin. The office is located at 679 at Beckham Road. Open 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also have a night drop and kiosk machine for after-hour payments. It's convenient, it's safe, and here for you. Altamaha EMC. Stop by and see us today at 679 at Beckham Road in East Dublin. Altamaha EMC can be reached at 912-526-8181. Community owned, community built, community builder. Altamaha Electric Membership Corporation.
Imagine a life-changing injury. Imagine the fear and unknown. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team, the only physicians in the area with advanced certification in orthopedic sports medicine, treats sports injuries with innovative techniques. The Houston Clinic has helped nearly 1 million athletes live without pain. Imagine getting back in the game. Imagine the best game of your life. The Houston Clinic Sports Medicine Team.
All right, welcome you back again out at East Lawrence High School with Coach Green, and we want to talk about what's coming up this next week, so possibly you can turn out or travel to see, because I think you travel with Montgomery, right? You go there.
Yes, sir. We go to Montgomery on Monday at 4 p.m. because they don't have lights at their facility, so it's going to be really hard for fans to turn out to that game with work and all that.
Yeah.
But
let's compare what that game's going to be like and how we want to grow in that game and develop and looking to start region play, and maybe talk about a little about the experience the first time you played Montgomery.
Well, first time we played Montgomery, we did really well. We hit the ball well. We won, I believe, 11-1. Yeah. So it was a really dominant victory for us. So we expect to go back in there and have another one and have some confidence building for our first region game. Mm-hmm. Build up some confidence.
Who will pitch for you on Monday?
We're going to pitch Chase Donaldson. He pitched against him the first time. It was pretty effective. He's probably going to stay low in pitch counts because we got our region games. We want to come out the pen. So he'll probably stay pretty low. He'll start it out. If he's rolling, let's say he's throwing like a no-hitter or something, obviously I'm not going to pull him out. I'm not going to ruin that to a kid. Yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah. But we'll see. He'll stay pretty low in pitch counts, and then we'll hand the ball to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you want to keep him fresh. Mm-hmm. He's going to come back toward the end of the week.
Yeah.
All right, and then moving forward, you say you got Northeast?
Yeah.
All right, what's the schedule for them?
Okay, so we're going away to them on Tuesday, and then we're coming at home on Friday against Northeast. Okay. For Northeast.
And what do they look like this year?
See, the thing about it is that they seem like they have some really good games, and then they have some really bad ones, and it's kind of hard to tell. But they should be a pretty solid ball club. I know they're really, really well coached. Really well coached. At least that's what it seemed like last year. Their coaching staff does a really good job with them. They're gonna be very disciplined. Yeah, I would say they're very disciplined. Mm-hmm. You know.
Okay. And any comparable opponents? Anybody they played that you've played?
Well, no, not
as a comparison.
Not as a comparison. So you can't really tell.
So who will pitch his second game? Who you think will start there?
Who do I think will start? Probably going to be Alex Mullins. Probably going to throw one against him. Try to scratch off a victory to start off with. Yeah. Usually the first game is the most important one. You win the first one, that sets the tone for the rest of the series. Yeah. That's in any level ball that you play. First game gives you some confidence boost. Like, we got this.
Most everybody's going to throw the best pitch in the first game.
Yeah. Most everybody's going to do so, which some people try to say, all right, we're going to match up. They throw their number one, we'll throw our two so that we can throw their number one, yes, or two.
Yeah.
I've always been my one's better than your one. Let's go get it. Let's have it. Yeah. Let's have at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you still need the turnout. You need the parents to turn out.
Oh, yeah.
Try to travel. At least come out to the home games. You always need that support. The young people need that support. In progressing along, I'm sure you're still working on fundamentals. That's your number one thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I told you, talking about that first and third earlier.
Yeah.
We're going to definitely work on that at practice today. Mm-hmm. Try not to work on it as much because we're going to talk about it because it happened yesterday. So before when we were talking about it, we might have had not some kind of clue. Maybe we hadn't seen it in a game. So now we've seen it. So I can go back. Remember last night when that happened?
Yeah.
This is what should have happened. And then if that would have happened, we would have gotten out somewhere, whether it be first or third.
Yeah.
But we did a really, really good job of staying calm. So focus on the positive. But if we would have executed a little better here, we'd have got out of the inning, and would have still been in the ball game because I believe they scored like 3 or 4 runs at that inning, which really and we had 2 other errors that inning also. So not good. I don't even think they got a hit. I think we just gave them walks and errors. And
just another example of the importance of doing things right because it gets in your head after that.
That's the thing is that you just can't let stuff snowball. One bad thing happens in baseball, you got to forget it because it's I believe I talked about last week, game of failure. Bat 300, you're a Hall of Famer. Everybody's like, oh, he's the greatest player. And he's failing 7 out of 10 times he goes up to the plate. You're going to fail a lot in baseball, and that's one thing I keep preaching to my kids is you're going to fail. You have to be able to get back up. You got to have a really, really short memory. Memory.
That's right. It's the next
baseball.
play.
Yes.
It's the
short
next
memory.
play. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flush it.
We want to encourage you to come on out. We want to encourage you to support it. We're showing you a schedule. Now, how many teams are in the region? How many games will we have at, or how many opponents will we face?
How many teams are in the region? I believe it's 7 including us. Mm-hmm. So we'll have 6 series.
Okay.
Yep. We got Northeast, Southwest, Dublin, Waco, Dodge, Bleckley, and that's it. Yeah, that's 6. So yeah. 7 with us.
You got some tough teams ahead, man. Tough.
Oh yeah, man. They're usually pretty good teams in our region. It's pretty tough. Baseball region, definitely a really tough a lot of sports like football, it's really, really, really dominant in football. But yeah, in baseball, it's gonna be a pretty tough little region. So we got a tough little road ahead of us, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
I believe we've learned a lot and ready for it.
Yeah, and you keep toughing them up. You keep teaching. It's all teaching moments.
Oh, yeah.
It's all teaching moments, and we've all been in that most of us been in that situation before, where you have to make something with what you have. You got to grow them. You got to figure out what you can do to take them to the next level. And how many seniors again do you have? Two seniors.
Two seniors. So that means that we got a lot of kids that are still going to be on our program. You keep building them up, building their confidence, and I'm telling you, these younger guys keep stepping up like that, we're going to have some bright future over here at East Lawrence.
Yeah, just keep working it, right? Okay, now let's run through that starting lineup again, just so we kind of are able to wrap our mind around that.
All right, so you want it for the Montgomery game?
Yeah.
All right, then we would have Chase on the mound, throwing. We got Cam back there catching. At first, we'll either probably have like Hunter Clay, or it could be Link Pope. I still haven't figured that out. First base is one of those ones where we just kind of work a lot of people in, and whoever's doing the best at practice, you figure it out. So after today, I'll know the starter there. Trey Barwick is going to be second base. Alex Munns at shortstop. Link Pope at third. Emmanuel Price in left field. Quez Lovett center, or Cody Allen center. Hold up, Cody Allen or Quez at center, and Jateri in right, or Quez in right.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Turn out and support these young men. Support them around the community when you see them. Pat them on the back, encourage them, because hard work and encouragement will take you a long way in life, and then we want them to continue to improve. We appreciate, Coach, what you're doing for this program, and much success in the near future.
We appreciate y'all too.
All right, thanks for joining us right here on TB 35.